although some might not have noticed. But as I said to members, I was just about to put this up as unlisted for just in the members group, which I've posted it in the group, the recording. But I thought, no, we'll see who's live, because you know, whoever's meant to see it will see it. So I'd been talking about what had been happening since the full moon, and what I had learned, the downloads that had come through to me in my own life personally, and things I've been letting go of, things that I'd been working through both physically and energetically. So I'm going to pull a card, and I want to do a little meditation that is for anyone that feels like when there's dark moments in your life, when there's sadness or immense grief, dealing with the polarity within us, within our own shadow, within our own soul, from past lives, from where it is we are now. Holding, we often speak of holding someone in the light or sending someone love and light, but I want to, with the intention with this video, to invite you to hold your dark side in the light, and through the eyes of compassion, through seeing, and I feel as though this is a reminder of what was coming through with the energies that we spoke of. Yesterday's energy was very much dreamlike. There was a lot of possibility of download, so a lot of you might have had lots of dreams, lucid dreaming last night, or things coming to you, revelations, enlightenments, as you've started to process the energies from the 17th. So I'm going to pull a card on that subject, and so what do we need to know? What do I need to share with regards to the shadow, the darkness, the sadness, the grief of the season, the letting go, the big letting go, the supermoon that we've had, and how that is affecting humanity, affecting us personally on a whole. There's lots of questions there, but what's the most important? To knowing our highest good for evolution. And what do we need to meditate? I know I have ideas of what I wanted to do with you, but to be in a state of graceful movement. The next 3 weeks, I was going to say that anyway, so that's the reminder. So what else actually, because that was at the forefront of my must tell them. F dog. Little bird. Okay. Right, so I pulled the 3 cards. So the first one I pulled was Metal Movement, State of Grace. And what came to mind was, I will be back. I will be doing our movement practice. That's what's needed over the next 3 weeks to help to process the energies that we've been upgraded with, and ground those high frequency energies in. State of Grace, the frequency, the new moon, as that comes in. A rabbit is playful, it's sexuality, it's bringing in all those things that lift the frequency. So transmuting the shadow, allowing the light to penetrate the shadow, to shift its frequency as well. Bless him. Little old man, he wants to go out for a walk with me. Come out here. The next card I pulled was Earth Dog is reconnecting with astral love. These are loved ones we've got All Hallows, Samhain, the Witches' New Year coming up. And this is a time that religious people can get like, oh, it's the darkness, the vow, it can be coming in. But this is about dealing with your shadows. When you only need to fear the shadow if you are in fear, because you need not fear your own shadow. Your shadow is you. Those demons, those aspects that we think of as the darkness, we are what manifest them. We are both the light and the dark. We are the balance of both. And as the vows thin, we are able to see that. And when we stand in our light, we need not fear shadow, because that shadow comes from us. We are the creator of it. It is our fears, our griefs, our emotions, which is why processing of that is really good to ground and to be grounded, moving, shifting, clearing and transmuting. You keep the energy in flow state. But that's again the thing that I was asking about. And this speaks of like a time like we've all Saddles Eve in New Mexico. They took the Day of the Dead. This is when in Wiccan tradition, you set a place for loved ones at the table. You remember those that have passed. You remember them, allowing them to come back to your mind, your thoughts, and remembering those loved ones. In remembering them, you give them life. And how you choose to give them life is how you choose to remember them. The dog is loyalty, is friendship, but astral love, those that have passed are close. They are there. It's like your team, your the incarnations and frequencies of the being that was, of those loved ones, is in resonance and present, and there holding light and seeing the light form of them. And to treat yourself like royalty by seeing the reflection, seeing the sovereign self, just looking in the mirror. And this to me is the mirror work. It's loving who you are, loving who you were and who you will be, those kind of past, present, future. So that was the message, to have that state of grace and movement, moving through. And if you look at those little, it's like the marigolds that you get around that time of year, and the dog is sort of sitting there with all of the loved ones behind him. He's like, his warrior team are there in protection. They are there with love. Remember, with love, and treat in yourself as you choose to be treated, treating others. If you have fear for something, then fear is what you get back, and fear is the opposite of love. So remembering that in terms of the distortions of how this holiday has been viewed in the past, to see it as it is meant to, in its fullness, and the beauty that it can be in clearing and allowing ourselves to see beyond the veil and see beyond the darkness to our own light, and shining that bright at its brightest. Also being reminded of the gold rings, portals of shifting, changing, the stars in the north, which is Orion's belt, aligning parallel, so South Pole, North Pole. Not quite sure, but this is the solstices. It's a marking of times and how we shift in and through the seasons within our own life. The reflections, to look behind, to look where we've been, to look where we've been culturally, where we've been through the timelines, and where things have happened in the past, and now how they're repeating, but in different higher level of a repeating pattern, if you like, the music, the dancing of the spheres with the astrology as it moves through and shifts things. So bearing that in mind, I invite you to join me by inviting you to connect with you, your higher being, your higher self, the aspects of you, and grounding that down into this 3D world that we are in, that we live in, that we be. Firstly, starting with the breath, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth this time. And do that a couple of times. So each time you exhale, when you exhale through the mouth, we're deliberately detoxing when we breathe through the mouth. Make the sound of H, which is the heart sound, and the fire sound in TCM. So breathing in and like a big sigh, but heart energy, breathing in. And calling forth whatever you choose to have close to you, whether it is loved ones that you want to call in, whether it is the dance of the music of the spheres of our sister families, star families that hold us in the highest, helping us through our evolutionary path. Calling in with intention through the filter, the shield, if you like, connecting to all aspects of my soul, past, present, future. And giving you a visual, a guide, if you feel called to walk through that. Of rings 12, 13, 14 and 15 in particular. The other 12 are in place. And like they are coming down, like anyone seen the Stargate movies when the rings come in the portal and it transports them up like in Star Trek. That's kind of how I mean. Coming down around you, around your field. Seeing each of the layers coming down. They represent a kind of 3D version of it, what is energetically happening, but seeing those rings coming down, and so you're in a light tube, if you want, for an image. And it's focusing on 12, 13, 14 and 15, the top rings. That are connected with you and your soul, the highest aspects of you. And then feeling a sense of light lighting up within you. And if you want to just take your fingers up to the top of your head, if it doesn't hurt to lift your arms, or visualize just a tapping on the nervous system, a Bhagwad point at the very top of the head. Breathing in, breathing out, feeling the light filtering through. And as you're tapping, it's almost like you're tapping little droplets off of a glass pane, and it's moving. And as you tap, that flow, that plasma goes through you, through the mind. And as it does, it washes through like a soothing balm, like you're putting, what's that stuff, like tiger balm on an ache, the soul of the mind of the division. And as it goes through, it seeps through this balm to the hippocampus at the back of the head. And then take the hands down to bang in the drum. So if you take your palms, you run them through your head so that your thumbs are at the base of your ears and that bone here. And we're just going to literally, they go up on that bone and then lift off. And we do that, and it's just called banging the drum in Qigong. And then stop and feel You can let the hands float down to cup the neck. And breathing in through the nose, out through the nose, like those water droplets that we've tapped and banged and shaken through and shaken up any patterns in the brain, any brain waves, any frequencies that are misaligned, that are not of the highest good for the soul's evolution. Feeling the throat, bringing the fingers together at the base of the spine, at the top of the spine, slowly bringing the hands round to meet under the chin, crossing them over at the thymus here. And we're just going to link the thumbs like a little butterfly and just tap the right and left brain hemispheres, tapping that coming through and taking us back through time to the moment in time when we split to masculine and feminine, when we split for duality, for the purpose of this evolution to get to the point where we are now, as we move back to beyond polarity, tapping, feeling the awareness, feeling any soul contracts related to this coming through, coming down, breathing in, breathing out, knowing that we can go beyond the parallels, we can walk beyond the physical, the mental and the emotional as one through time and space in this now moment. Bring the thumbs down and the hands down over the top of the breastplate and breathe, pushing the thumbs together. That's your anchor, that's your physical connection to the now point. Breathing in, breathing out. I'm going to give you a visual. You might hold on to whatever's coming through for you. But me asked to share. This is a petri dish I'm seeing, like you would see cellular division of life when we're putting a little line into it of a cell membrane, placing an egg like we do in vitro when they're doing birth and growth. You see this as the seeding of this now moment, the seeding of you standing in highest, standing in strength and power, feeling any shadow, just that, a shadow of the infinite light that you are, that's made up of that cell. The reflection in the water of the cell allows us to see it. And then see your DNA, helix, being upgraded, or actually being put back. It's not that it's upgraded as such, those are wrong words. That's a misconceived perception. It's that it is putting back to its original intention, purpose, and the highest aspect. Feel those thumbs if you feel like you're slipping, because remember, I wanted us to be grounded, but we're grounding in this high intention. Lifting the hands so that you make a triangle pointing down with your forefingers and the thumb in the same spot. Take the hands down to the lower dantian and over the belly. Sitting or standing straight and upright, relax your shoulders down, but feel like, as they say in yoga, like you've got a piece of string at the top of your head that's holding you high, as though there is a crown being placed on the top of your head. The visual is another ring, but a ring that is like it is a crown. It literally is a plate of awareness, a consciousness, an energy, a presence of your whole being that we chose to forget for whatever reasons. We let go of the why. We go beyond the judgment of the how, and we step into the now. And then bring your fingers and your hands one over either down, if you're standing either side of you, or over the knees, one hand on each knee, feeling the presence of the fullness of you, the awareness of all that is beyond time. The movement of yourself through gravity, creating time in its linear fashion. And I want you to feel very grounded, feel your focus go to your feet like there's roots there, like a tree, connecting to your own branches of the tree of life, going down deep into the soil of your soul, of your shadow, of your grief, of your doubt, of your sadness, your anger, and taking every lesson learnt through history, through time, past, lives, present, future awarenesses, the nutrients coming up from the shadow in what we see and how we be, the growth coming through the veins of the body, through the blood, through the cells, through the bone, through time. The ancestors' awareness of blood, roots, genetics, whether you know it or not. For a star what is that? Flame. Star flame. And now through sound. So I'm going to connect in fullness to soul, but I want you to stay very grounded in your feet, feeling the earth, feeling the surroundings around me. You can hear the wind, the trees, the birds maybe, the cat inside guarding me, calling in a sacred space as I do so. Knowing that nothing in your shadow can hurt you while you're in this space. It's okay to see it. If you're not ready, that's fine. Just allow the sounds to, like a crystal glass, as it struck, go through your soul in your own resonance, in your own being. Open to colour as well as sound. I'm feeling beautiful purple coming through, a beautiful aqua, a lovely gold and bronze, green, from these higher crown rings, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th level dimension or being, not necessarily being, collectives, to give it a kind of a box, if you like, of understanding. It's beyond that as well, but just feel Yitrum, 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 Yitrum. Turulistitiana turukna esta turuturu piatekni aktayalak turum est tunumiktirak titsutirak skudum iktaderak tishkunum iktai ikskudum kitialak tai niaturuknu la tayalak turuknu meskniaiskndudukumta Dilaktum ekai indum. Estuturu kuna ekuru kundurai tishkna induru kuru kumea yatairu kuma etayato okuma heta hete iane hete. I call forth my star family, my soul family, my earth family. In essence, I bear witness through sound. Healing within the moment. Or more true to words. The sovereign memory. Awakening. I call through my bloodline. The ancient house. And the power it holds. Ikiturukumba tela kaneshkurukumba ayiturukuno eskira kishkunuma etayiturukumba hiturukuma ishiranata ekayura to heal the vessel within me, without me, ekuru and part of me, ekuru mahata ehetia hana ela nurukuma through time and space. Eha no no hayete helaturo through the emotional, the mental and the physical. Eha nueshkuro through points in time as I've opened. Ekuro kumaya tea ayuru kuma as I filter. Eya turukum without judgment. Ekira tanono pai through the web. Ehana aturu I've eaten of the reality I stand in this now moment. Ekuru umaya teta ha heti hala ha hana hafo ukul okul. For those that have called me hafo and heti heta oyeta yuru kumaha ta ikayituru the mother, the grandmother. Ikia handuro kulu kuma eki ala ehala ekira ena Sophia eturuma. Breathe in whatever is coming through for you. If the words that I speak in the language that is present do not resonate, discount them. Whatever is relevant will be relevant for the soul, listening, feeling, being. I stand here and I feel the army, it's more than an army, the collective consciousness of my family, of my soul family and my star family, and that's me putting it into my own words of context to give some understanding for those that were wanting to know. Of the heritage of the soul. Ekahanete ekirana urukulukuma hishurukuna. Hear me through time, through space, through present as I anchor ihayituruma, the light within the moment. Ehe tayuru kuma iyurununa ama ayana ama, a frequency of love. E iyanuru metituru una, for there are not words to express what is being said. It is to be felt. Ihatu ukumahatet ulomaiti ayata ela nuno metaya. I breathe in presence. I feel connected. Ekurumaya. I step into power. I feel the power radiating through me as it radiates through those that view. And Turo, I bear witness for the vessel, for the soul, for my own being. Ianuru meata, ekenayura nituruma, nira shuruma, kaiki kuruma, etalana, etalaheta andikia, kiantikuro kuma. I feel a connection, a rewiring, of crystalline structure within the DNA sequence. Feel this within you. In your own divine connection, however you choose to interpret that. For the spite, for the dark, for the shadow, I have love, compassion, for you, to call back to source. Remember in class, for those that were with me, I spoke of a few months ago, we had these little circles we were opening, and we were putting anything in it that didn't need to be in the frequency, that's shifting and evolving. I'm seeing huge expanding with what's being put into them for myself and for those that have been doing so. And like when we were at the beginning visualizing the circles coming down around us, from these 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th rings, the portal within my souls, within my cells, of where they are in time and space, I can see expanded. It goes across time. It's like seeing into I can't quite express it, but there's the same thing happening everywhere within your body right now. Really tiny, but it's happening to the past life of you in another realm. It's happening to you simultaneously. It's happening in this now moment, but it's also happening in the future and in the past. That's why I was being shown an image of a manipulation of the cell, but it's us that's manipulating with our intention, or us, I say, your soul directing you for whatever needs to be for that highest good beyond the polarity. Before time began and after time has ended. Outside of time, but happening within space. It doesn't quite make sense for any of the physicists out there, maybe understanding more than me. For what I'm being shown is it looks like what I would interpret as an upgrading of our DNA, but it's not an upgrading. It's a remembering of where our DNA needed to stuff that needed to be. Oh, I don't even know. I'll save that for later in another video. But just trusting in the highest aspect of you, in for the good of all of humanity and beyond humanity. This is multi-aspected. This is beyond time and space. This is beyond the human race. This is seeing you in a safe space, which is beyond what I could have asked for. For we were wanting to bring in any shadow, any doubt, any light and space, stuff that's here in the earthly realm in this moment, in this point of time. And I'm trying to ground in. So grounding that in what I'm seeing. Slowly, if you're ready, you can open your eyes and try and feel that in the moment, in the surroundings around you, holding that to this now point. Feeling wow, when did that happen? The card has been moved. So movement in the state of grace. Feel movement and shift. So just gently, as I say, if you're ready to open your eyes and just kind of start to move the body a little bit. Bringing the hands up, rubbing them together. I can feel like what looks like a rose, but a flat drawn rose in my hands. And as I rub them together, I can feel it opening up to the chin, feel it over, and like going through. As it goes through, I can feel like a kaleidoscope. You know, if you look through those little tubes and it moves, that's what happens as I move my hand through the energy field of the body. Take it to the thymus and the top and just gently thump the lungs, the lung points, and then taking that into tapping. We're going to come under the armpits and tapping, bringing this through the body, through our sympathetic nervous system, tapping on what would be about the bra line on a woman, just under the arms, taking them down and then tapping the hips. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, tapping down. That's the gallbladder points, and then down the legs and onto the ankles. I'm going to do both sides. I might do. The noise is just loud, so you can see where I'm and down. So you're getting both sides. If you need to stand, if you need to do it while you're sitting and you want to knock the ankles either side, and then take that into shaking the tree. So literally just shake off any excess that is too much for you, because we just went really deep. I knew that what I was being guided to when it comes through is quite intense, but I wasn't expecting that. And shake the legs off the legs. Feel as though the droplets that we were talking about in the beginning of the meditation are flowing through, down and off like raindrops, like you're literally shaking off water, like when I wash the celery and I'm shaking off the celery. Same thing, off the body. Feel it flowing all around you. And nice picture behind me of our grandmother, so there we go, you can see me a little bit better. Standing, feel anchored, and the roots that we spoke of earlier in the meditation, if you haven't, if you were just joining live, then anchoring in, grounding in the energy that will be still present. Feeling the fingers spreading apart, coming out to the side, bringing the arms slowly up, opening in Adam pose. I'm going to call this man, and they call for Da Vinci, but open and then up, stretching up above the head, and then slowly keep the fingers separate as if you're running your fingers through water in the air, slowly coming down the central column. And again, take that up in cleansing breath. Side. We're going to move and do a little bit of Qigong to ground in that, because I certainly felt like that was next level, even for me. Thanking the space that we're holding. Take the hands up above the head and just stretch through the body. We were using the body as a portal. I was using the body as a portal. You were using the body as a portal. If you were visualising with me, you might have had other images coming through. You know that? Feel that through the spine. And coming over, take it into angel wings. Bend the knees as you come down. Float them down, around and up the kidneys. And relax the hands down the side. Stretch behind, up. And then just make sure you've got a little bit of space. You can just bring them down. Shaking. Shake out the leg. And then take that into just a little bit of a forward lean with grace, like the swan. Wrap your hands around you as you bend forward, stretching that leg. One that you're leaning over, the other one's bent. We come up, just stepping forward, and do the same on the other leg. Hands out, side, lean over with grace, bring the arms around, hugging, stretch, in, feel that lower and behind the knee, that stretch, and then coming back up. Rotate the shoulders, once forwards, once back, and we come back to a seated position. So, feeling a little bit grounded, that high frequency. Well, so just to recap, we were working with, if you were feeling like you were under psychic attack, this meditation is for that. If you're feeling like your doubts, your worries, your stresses, your grief, your sadness energetically was taking more of a dominant frequency in your life, this video was for that. It was also for you if you were feeling like you are upgrading, going through a metamorphosis, going through a transformation in your life right now. It was also to honour the changing of the seasons, the messages that were coming through. I think it's what they said, what she said to me. Oh, Hathor was the one that I recognised. Alma was another. Collective awareness. There felt like an army of light beings present. Different star. Orion, Spelt, Lara, and Arcturus. Not sure what that one. And the North Star, that's Polaris, as well. And a gathering of all of the representatives from those, but not just where we are in the present moment, but a linking from like a dimensional gathering through time is what I felt that was happening. And I can still feel the rings, like they're connected, they're part of there, and it feels like it actually physically feels like I have a crown on my head. That sounds a bit nuts, doesn't it? Feels a bit nuts. Like there's not a pressure of yeah, pressure, is that what? Like something is dissolving in, because there was so much weight of information that my brain is not up to speed to process it, and that would be dangerous to do that all in one go. But to, as it will like dissolve in the water as it goes through the body, through the awareness and the subconscious to come up. And that's what I'm being told will happen for anyone that was doing that with us. So reconnecting to that astral love and the ancestral love is there for you, forgiving that. And there's another message, the three mountains. I don't know where that is. This might be something on a personal note, but I'll share it anyway. The three mountains and the three stars in the north, which I know what the three stars in the north now are, at Orion's belt, between the vows, they will see us there. Well, that's good, because I feel like this is relevant to something I'm going to be doing next year on my own journey. So, but that's obviously relevant to some others that may be in a different context, because like words have dual meaning, more than dual meaning. They have like multiple meanings of sounds, of what we hear, what we need to hear. We see what we need to see at the right time. So chrysanthemums as well is being given to someone. I'm hearing my mum in one, and mother as well, mother maiden crone, but also the music. This is the flute, this is the tuning. Oh, what do I call it there? It is the frequency. The sword itself is a sword of light, a sword of truth. That's what they put behind through my spine before when they gifted it. But it's like a visualized, physical, energetical thing, but it's also a physical thing as well. It's a physical present frequency in my life, but it's also your life too. Whoever is hearing, you're being gifted with this. It's a marriage of the spheres. It's a marriage of our intention, our commitment, through time, an honouring of that, of my own marriage. Oh my word, that makes sense to something that had come up recently. But yeah, but not like relationship marriage. It's the coming together of a contract, soul contracts being lived out, soul contracts being like written and also being achieved. They're all kind of at this point. There are those in the 12 families as well. That's important. Those soul contracts have been met. For those of you know what I'm on about. But the ancestors are giving love and giving thanks, and look in the mirror on All Hallows Eve for those that want to see the reflection of the soul, that are ready to see their shadow, to see what they knew. And I say this is something my mum would do, that you peel an apple on All Hallows Eve and chuck it over your shoulder to see in the mirror who you would marry. They're saying it's kind of a play on, they've taken that awareness of my mum's memory with me to say, okay, you can utilise that as a thing if you want to peel the apple, but it's the spiral shifts, look through to see who you are becoming and who you've been. And if you're in a state of love on that time, you will see the merging of that in the three rings. 12th, 13th, 14th and 15th is 4 rings, you being the 4th. So that's quite beautiful. And treat yourself. Remember you have regal blood, was what they were saying to me. Remember your regency. Remember your sovereignty is kind of the message. And wherever the flowers are falling, you are being looked after. Loved ones are looking out for you. They're present, they're here. You'll feel them, but feel them and thank them for being there, bearing witness with love. So that's a really beautiful message for what I asked for and what came through. Thank you for sharing with me, and I'll pop this up so you can do it from the beginning if you need to. And I'm being told that particularly that bit when I was channeling, if you do that bit whenever you feel the need for protection, that my because I'm the avatar, I suppose, my other my counterpart, I suppose, my higher self or whatever, she will cut gold lines through any of that stuff for you, in and help the higher self. So it's not me doing it, if you like. It's just for you to have a visual, for maybe a hand holding to do what you are doing yourself. So as a thread, like a thin like the thread that you would, I can't remember the story, the mythology, where the woman, she'd put all the threads to find through the is it the meteoron, where he goes through the maze, and so he can get out, so he doesn't die and he can kill the ball. This is like the same sort of thing. It's for you to face your shadow. For you can do it on your own anyway. You don't need me, but if you feel like you need that helping hand, all it is that thread, and it's to remind you of your thread, because you don't need the thread. Let me be clear. Anyway, love and blessings. Have a beautiful day, and hope for those that celebrate Samhain, may it be blessed. May you spend the time, as it says, reconnecting with that ancestral love and grace, and spend a bit of time treating yourself like royalty, a little bit of time going within as we spend this time and this energy this week and next week and the week after. The movement practice is important, I'm being told, so I'll be present for that, because then that makes me accountable to do it as well. Blessings for your day.